So my dude's Valk here. Today I'm going to talk about Deathmatch and is it good for Xiao? How would you build around it, etc, etc, etc. And the one thing you guys asked me the most, Deathmatch or Blackcliff. I'm never going to tell you when to pick. I'm going to give you guys the information about the weapons and tell you guys what they do on your own. So Deathmatch, what it gives you is 8% crit rate at base attack 41. The passive Gladiator, if there are at least 2 opponents nearby, attack is increased by 16%, and in defense is increased by 16%. If there are less than 2 opponents nearby, attack is increased by 24%. This has one of the lowest base attacks out of all the polearm at R5, which you would have to do Battle Pass 5 times to be able to get R5 for it. It's going to be attack is increased by 32%, defense is increased by 32%, and if there are less than 2 opponents nearby, it's going to be 48%. Now, the main reason you would ever pick this is because the crit rate goes up to 36.8%. Why is 36.8% significant? Well, 36.8% plus 19.2%, which he gets is from his thing. Well, I guess 24.2% is even more accurate. So 36.8 plus 24.2, you're going to get around 61% crit rate just off of natural crit. You don't have to get any substats. It makes this weapon extremely easy to build around. Damage wise, do I think it can go as high as Blackcliff? No. This does not have the exact. This is not you. Like, you're not going to be able to deal as much damage as Blackcliff, but it's going to make it extremely easy where you don't have to get a single crit rate artifact. You don't have to worry about your build so much. That's the whole point behind it. Whereas if you're trying to build Xiao and you have all your gladiator pieces and you're struggling really to get a helmet as soon as it loads up, and you're struggling to really get a good crit rate helmet so you're not running some piece of shit like this, if you're struggling, this is the spear for you. Because it's mostly to make it easy to build. Then you could just forego crit rate. You can slap on some random crit damage artifact, like one of these two. You could slap on a crit damage artifact and then just go for the rest glad. Go for the rest glad pieces. Like if you don't have a good anemo damage percent goblet, but you need to run 4-piece glad, then you can run attack percent or etc. Or if you like you're running 2-piece viridescent, 2-piece gladiator, then you have setups for that. It just makes it extremely easy to build around because you don't have to worry about crit rating or substats. You can just focus and slap a shitload of crit damage on them. You don't need to worry about crit rate at all. That's the biggest strength to Deathmatch. The biggest weakness is that it's going to take you at least 5 updates to max refine it to get the most out of it. And the base attack is pretty low and there's no real way to get it up. So yeah. Is the damage anywhere near as high as Blackcliff? No. Which one do I recommend between the two? I recommend whichever one you find better for your build. If you have a good crit rate helm and, or if you have enough crit rating as substats in your artifacts and you're running a crit damage helm, and you have enough to reach your goals, or if you're running like a Jade Spear or whatever, like that gives you crit rate or whatever and it makes it easier, if you have enough crit rate basically, then Blackcliff is probably the better option for you. If you don't have enough crit rate and you're really struggling to build Xiao and you really need to build Xiao, then I recommend Deathmatch because Deathmatch is just going to do it. This is the main reason and the main dilemma I come into whenever I'm recommending Spear to you guys, because I don't know your build, I don't know your situation, I don't know any of that. It all depends on what you're trying to do and what you're trying to accomplish and what you need for your build. That's why I'm going to make this series going in depth over every single spear in the game that I think is viable for Xiao. If I don't make a build on your favorite spear, it's probably not that good for Xiao. Throwing that one out there. So I'm just going to explain what they do, and I'm going to let you decide because I want you guys to decide what they are or how to use them. Anyways, guys, that's all I got for the deathmatch today. Peace.